is a massive shortcut to manifestation and creating the life of your dreams, and just manipulating your states of consciousness from the inner world. And something that I discovered a long time ago, but I didn't truly know that this was an issue that I had, or it was something that I solved within myself that allowed me to visualize, and it assisted me in my visualization skills, assisted me in my focus, made it more simple to create feeling states and live in my fulfilled desire more flawlessly and effortlessly. And that's really what it's about, is creating and manifesting effortlessly, becoming the version of yourself that is already here right now, creating that version right now because creation is finished, and then emulating that and giving that to the subconscious, and then transferring that to that world where you're emulating those changes, because you seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and then everything is added unto you. And that is changing the kingdom, which is inside of you, your state of consciousness, and then your world has to reflect that change. Everything is added unto that new state of consciousness. And that's what the Bible is trying to tell us through the symbolic nature written in Eastern symbolism such a long time ago. That's what it's trying to demonstrate to us. But the simple act of meditation I want to get into, and it's a certain specific exercise with meditation that I'm going to teach you about, but I'm going to also first talk about why this is so essential. Because every day you're going through your day-to-day life and you forget, you get locked back into a reactionary process where you fall out of your wish fulfilled, or you start reacting to something maybe someone said to you, or something that happened to you, or if you crash your truck into something like I did the other day, back my truck into something the other day, and then I get into a reactionary process, but then I catch myself, pull myself back, and know that this is happening for my benefit, and then I strategize and have it fixed, and then even improve myself from that. But actually not reacting to it at all, or only reacting in a temporary state, which I caught myself. Okay, initially I started to react to it and get negative, like, oh, how much money is this going to cost to fix? I started, of course, the natural reactions of that. But what I found very quickly is that I caught my mind, and I didn't react to it for very long at all. I started seeing the positives in it, and my mind just automatically did this on its own. And I wanted to give the credit to doing like the leaf exercise and having the developed focus of attention. But really what I contribute this to is meditation. And I'm going to explain why and how this works and what you should do also in your own life about this. Okay, so when something happens to you in your world and you react to that, and you lock onto it, and you can't seem to break free from this feeling state, when something negative happens to you and you just kind of, just controls you, this avalanche of feeling states that are created from this, and you kind of can't get out of that negative mindset and that mood, it's because of this. Because meditation, when you go into meditation and you start to neutrally think about your thoughts, and you allow them to come in and then out, and allow them to come in, because this is a very good meditative exercise to do, is just to focus on your breath at first, not thinking about anything else, but then observing your thoughts, the thoughts that are just coming in on their own. Like you have natural thought, like what this person said to you here, what you have to do today, what this is going on in your life. You just allow all of the thoughts that are coming to you, you're observing them, and you're seeing them come inside your mind, and then you allow them to just go out without reacting to them, just observing them, being judgment free of all this stuff, just seeing what's coming in. It's not you, it's not real, okay? Your thoughts aren't real. You don't have to react to these things. All right, so and understanding this process of knowing that they are just thoughts, that they have nothing to do with anything. They're not real, they're just thoughts. And so you just observe these thoughts as they come in. You don't judge them, you're just watching from the outside in. Okay, so that's what you want to picture. You're picturing yourself just watching these thoughts outside of yourself come in and then out. And then you're training, through this process of training, what it does is it starts to develop a facility in your mind and a habit of creating this version of yourself to where you're doing this throughout the day. So when you start practicing this meditative exercise throughout the day, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you're very consistent with it, for just a short period of time, what you'll find is you'll start doing this automatically in the real world. In the simulation, not the real world, but the simulation, actually the fake world, if you really want to get into the proper terms of that. You go back into the simulation, you go back to your 9-to-5 job, you go back to your everyday life, And then you have these things that pop up that where you're reactionary towards, and and you start to realize over time that these things aren't real. These things aren't, you start to realize that you stop reacting to these. You just allow these things to come in and then they go out. The same way as the meditative practice. If something happens to where your AC breaks in your house and it's at 90 degrees, you're in Florida and it's August, then you don't allow this to corrupt your mind. You see it from the outside coming in, and then you don't react to it. You just allow it to come in, and then you allow it to come out. And a lot of times what this does is it keeps you in a state of flow to where you're not getting upset or angered or overthinking about it, and you're actually able to strategize better to provide a solution for the problem itself. But not only is this the case, your ability to stay in your wish fulfilled, your fulfilled desire in that state throughout the day, the state of consciousness that you desire to be in, will not be affected as easily anymore. Because as you say in the morning, for example, you visualize or you create this feeling state of gratitude, and you're in this state of everything working out for you perfectly, and then you get to work or you're driving somewhere and someone cuts you off or slams into your car. Boom, this is some negativity that potentially could upset your feeling states. But what this meditative process does is it allows that thought and that incident to come into the mind, and then you instantly pop out and you just observe it and you don't judge it, and then you catch yourself. Your mind automatically catches yourself not to fall out of your wish fulfilled, not to stay outside of your desired state or your state of consciousness that you've created in the morning, or staying in your wish fulfilled. This is what this does. It creates a facility of the mind to where when something negative happens, or something that captures your attention in a negative way, then it comes in and you observe it, and then you allow it to come out, and you stay calm, steady, stress-free, and you don't allow this to corrupt your feeling states or your states of consciousness. So I want to say that you should do this for 30 minutes a day, but I'm not going to say that, because I know that most people, they set bars for themselves and they can't stick with it. So what I'm going to tell you to do is just do this for 3 to 5 minutes, every day. Because you can find, if you really want to see changes, if you find that you are reacting in your everyday life to negative things and they just seem to keep you in your moods down and you just can't get out of that, you can find time for 3 to 5 minutes of this a day. And if you are consistent and steady with this process, you will soon discover that your mind will now be programmed to allow these negative, so-called negative things and these things that stop you in your path, that you'll allow them to come in, and then without judgment or just observing these things, they will come in and they will go out. And then you will be more likely to stay in these great moods and feeling states and states of consciousness throughout the day much easier. So if you ever had a question with manifestation of how do I stop reacting? How can I do this, this, and this and stay in my wish fulfilled? Practice this exercise of self-observation, observing the thoughts in meditation for 3 to 5 minutes a day, allowing them to come in and just watching them go out. Don't judge them. They're not real. Your thoughts are not real. They are not you, okay? They have nothing to do with you. Okay, so observe these thoughts as they come in, as they go out, and you're just training the mind to allow these things to come in and out, in and out. And something negative comes, you allow it to come in. You don't judge it. You allow it to go out, and you stay in your wish fulfilled. And over time, this develops a new facility of your mind that I failed to give it the credit that it was due, because this is something that I did for a long time, and I didn't realize that this is going back to meditation now. I see that this was a huge part of my reactionary process and why my mind is trained this way, to where something that somebody would be very upset about and would ruin their life for 6 months only ruins my life for 30 seconds, if that. And then I pull my mind back and I just allow it to come in and allow it to go out. And then I strategize and I find the solution to the problem and move on, with my feeling states and my states of consciousness don't shift and they don't change very much. And that's really the key here, is to go into feeling states, find new feeling states, finding states of consciousness, and then sustaining those states of consciousness until they become permanent states of consciousness within the subconscious. So this exercise can extremely help and assist you with not reacting to day-to-day life and the reactionary process of, because you're always going to have things like this that are going to happen to you in your life. It's almost impossible to completely eliminate these things from your life, but you can train your mind to not react as much and to automatically catch itself. So once you design your mind this way, you do this exercise, your mind is going to be like on autopilot for this stuff. Okay, it's going to be on autopilot. It's going to naturally do this. It's going to stop judging everything. It's going to stop reacting to everything. It's going to be trained. You're training it like an animal. Okay, once you train the mind to do this, you're not going to have to do much after that. You're only going to have to do the inner work, which is the meditation, and that goes back to the Bible verse: "Seek ye first the kingdom, and then everything will be added unto you." Seek ye first the changing of your inner world, and in the outer world, everything will have to be added unto you. Everything you will have that connects with that frequency of what your current state of consciousness is. And this is what this does. Once you do the inner work and you develop these habits, and you change and program your mind to think this way by just observing and not judging, then it does it automatically throughout your day. You will automatically catch yourself. You will automatically not judge everything that's happening to you, not react to everything that's happening to you, and you'll find it much easier to stay in your wish fulfilled. So I wanted to make this video. Actually, I had my live event today on school, and we discussed this. So I really wanted to create this topic for everyone on the YouTube channel to understand this, because this is something that I just started to realize is a big part of not reacting to negativity, not falling out of your states of consciousness back into the old states of consciousness, redesigning your mind to be more judgment free, and just allowing things to come in and allowing things to go out. And doing this meditative practice just 3 to 5 minutes a day will develop these skills for you. And if you can do them more than that, then do them more than that. But if at the base level, do them 3 to 5 minutes, because that's something that's doable for everyone. Everyone can find 3 to 5 minutes to do this every day, at least Monday through Friday or something like that. All right, guys, so I'm encouraging you to start doing this meditative practice if you fall in that category, which I think everybody does, including myself, which I'm going back to doing this as well. Even though the mind's trained, you can go back, you can start to lose that ability over time, but you can always get it back so quickly. And I love meditating, for certain amounts of the day and in the day, because of what it does with the mind and how it can assist you on all levels and just create that inner peace. Inner peace is so important as well, and it also will assist you with that. All right, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.